finally back after a few weeks off. We're back to Musar. We're doing the letter of the Ramban. And here, in the introduction, it says, "Ubiser lo shevayom sheikra igeret hazot yanu min hashamayim ma sheishol." So,
Kol ma sheishol.
Kol ma sheishol. They say whoever reads this letter, it's a tremendous segula, but it's not one of these hibby-jibby segulos that don't have any meaning or ethical, spiritual value. It says, the Ramban tells his son, which was, I believe, Nachman, named after his father, that every time you read this, I will be your personal lawyer and mediator to go to God, agent to go to God, so that anything your heart desires, they should fulfill it in heaven. And he says, whoever's accustomed to saying this is going to be safe from all danger. And of course, somebody that is always accustomed to not get angry, which is the source and the point of this holy letter, is going to be Ben Olam Haba.
Wow.
So Rav Dan Segel, the Mashkiach of our generation, says we have to understand. You following me, Shani?
Yeah.
He says, first of all, you have to understand that Rav Chaim Vital writes that out of all the Rishonim, the greatest Kabbalist was the Ramban.
Ramban.
So,
don't they also say that he had the last real smicha?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but he was definitely very holy. My Rosh Hashiva Zatzal said that as much as the Rambam is great in halacha and hashkafa, we adapted Klal Yisrael adapted the hashkafa of the Ramban. That's why we have koilulim. According to the Rambam, everybody should try to work half of it, on many different levels. We don't go with the Moira Nevuchim, because we go al pi Kabbalah. Many different hashkafic things. When the Rambam is versus the Ramban, we follow the Ramban. Now the question here that he asks is, how is this segula really working? That whoever reads the Igeret Ramban,
so just by reading, not learning, just reading it?
Yeah, learning it, obviously. You have to know what you're saying.
Oh, okay. So it's not like a tefillah that you're reading.
Yeah, no.
It's like a learning. It's a limud.
Yeah. It's a ethical letter. So he says, how is this working? That every time you read it, why should there be such a thing? What does the Ramban say every time you read it? I mean, it's a great incentive. But why is there such a mechanism when you read it, Hashem will answer all your prayers, all your heart's desires? So he says, Rav Dan Segel says a beautiful idea. And that idea is that this whole topic of this letter is about humility, anava. And whoever is humble, Hashem is with him. Like he said in Tehillim, Imo anochi basara, yefaer anavim bishua. Throughout Torah, Nevi'im, Ketuvim, Torah Shebichtav, Torah Shebaal Peh, we see the crown jewel of all good characteristics, desirable characteristics is what? Humility. Like it says in Yeshaya 57, Marom v'kadosh eshkon v'etaker shafar ruach. Hashem is with the downtrodden and the humble, and the low of spirit. Not the snobby people. Hashem runs away from them. So he says, like we said, snobby people, narcissistic, self-centered people that think they're God, chas v'sholom, and the only thing that matters to them in their life is me, myself, and I.
Yeah.
Hashem runs away from them. They're not in Hashem's mechitza, in Hashem's inner corner, inner group. They're devoid of any Shekhinah, presence of God. And
wow.
So it says in the Gemara, Sota Daf Hey Amud Aleph, whoever is
Gasas Ruach,
Balgaiva, haughty, and full of vanity, Hashem says, me and him cannot live in the same world. And the Gemara in Brachos, Mem Gimel says, somebody that walks with his nose up high, like he owns the world, right? Right?
Can I help you?
It's like he's kicking out the Shekhinah, the presence of God, from wherever he goes. So he says, and I'll read it in Hebrew because it's so beautiful. So by the same token that it's so forsaken and disgusting and the opposite of holiness, to be a balgaiva, to be haughty and self-centered, humility, God is totally enveloped and together with that humble person. So that's why wherever the Shekhinah is, wherever Hashem is, Hashem is going to answer your heart's desires and you're going to be safe from all harm. Next page. And the Rambam says this in the Moreh Nevuchim, that somebody that is Davuk b'Hashem, attached to God, right? God is the source of all shalom and peace. Nobody could hurt God. So when God is with you, of course you're going to be safe from all harm. That's what the Rambam says. He says that's this famous segula of the Nefesh HaChaim, of the Inag Milvadeh, right? Based on the Gemara in Chulin. When Hashem is with you and you're totally focused and attached to God, then no harm could come to you. Maimonides, the Rambam, also backs up this idea. Asher hu nival mi Hashem, Hashem nivdal mimenu v'az nimzal chol ha'efshar Hashem. It says, but if you create a barrier between yourself and God, which the biggest barrier comes from being self-centered and selfish and full of yourself, then God forbid all the terrible, harmful things could happen to you because God ran away from you. And the Rambam, he says, that's why it says, the Rambam learns this from a pasuk in the Torah, this concept. Because he says in Parashas Hazinu, V'asiroti panai mehem v'ayilochol matzor ra'os rabos v'yom hahu halo gam kein en lo kai b'kirbi matzor ra'osa'ela. Right? It says, when God forbid, the Torah is predicting the destruction of the temple and the Holocaust and is totally devoid. It's like Sodom. So he says, because Hashem was not with you, right? All these bad things befell on us. So it's a mefurish, a pasuk in the Torah. Lachen, therefore, Misha Yikras Igeret Hazot, somebody that reads this holy ethical letter of how to not get angry and to be calm, cool, and collected and humble, that talks about the great virtue of humility. It causes you to be in the camp and in the mechitza, the inner circle of God. And once you're in the inner circle of God, then you could ask whatever your heart desires, and Be'ezat Hashem, Hashem will fulfill it. And hopefully next week we will start the Be'ezat Hashem, the letter itself, which starts with Shema Beni Musar Avicha V'al Titosh Torah Timecha, which means, hear my son, the rebuke and the feedback of your father, and do not forget the Torah of your mother.
Chazak u'baruch.
Hazak.